Hello everyone, it's Miss Amy. I'm in the garden tonight. I thought I'd give you a quick update on a few things. The tomatoes have really enjoyed having some rain over the last several days, and they are really getting ripe quickly. So we'll have tomatoes in abundance for quite a while now. These are big mamas, and they're aroma style tomato that is really large. They have a small amount of water and seed pouch, so they're great for making salsa or pico or sauce or anything where you don't want a lot of liquid. These are the big beef, the slicers. We've got a lot of those coming. The Carmen peppers are doing great. I'm going to leave a bunch of them on here and let them start to turn red. There's a couple of nice green ones in there, but there is one down here that's turning red. I know I've got several red pepper lovers out there. They're coming. The fall peas are doing great. Hopefully we won't have any extreme heat between now and the time of harvest. I've got carrots. There are 3 or 4 patches of carrots on this end of the garden alone, so I'm hoping to have carrots through the fall. Swiss chard. This is a small little bed of beans, so we should have some beans late into the season. It won't be a huge crop, but at least will be some. This is parsley. If you are looking to make pesto and freeze it to have for the winter, now's the time to do it. I have a bunch of parsley and basil. We've got beets. We've had beets from the very beginning of the season, and we will have beets as long as the weather cooperates until we get close to frost. I've got red beets, which are traditional, and then I have golden beets. The golden beets are just a little bit milder. I've been boiling them and making pickled golden beets, and to me they taste an awful lot like a Yukon Gold potato after they've been boiled. These beauties are San Marzano tomatoes. They are an aroma style tomato. They're believed to be the originator of all Roma varieties that are available today. They are not huge, but they have a lot of rich flavor. They don't have much water or seed pouch. They're great for making sauce or salsa or pico. I do have a couple of customers that are requesting them to do canning because they're such a great flavorful tomato. But these are a late season variety, and they are really just now starting to produce in any quantity. So I've got a big order to get ready this week, but we will have more San Marzano tomatoes just coming until the end of the season. So if you see these at the farm stand and you wonder what they are, they're a great tomato to chop up and put on a salad, or to chop and put on a taco, someplace where you maybe don't always want a real liquid tomato slice on there. These are nice too because their size. You can usually chop one up and use it right away and not have to put it in the refrigerator, because we all know once you put a tomato in the refrigerator, it's never the same. This is a 3-foot by 5-foot bed of green beans, and this has been just an odd year for the beans. First it was too cold, then it got hot, then it was dry, but we have green beans. We will have a lot of green beans at the farm stand this week for sure. There are actually a bunch of blossoms being set on all of the beans. I've got 3 different places with beans in it that are in fruiting mode, but they all have blossoms coming again. So I'm thinking as long as the weather is fair, we'll have green beans for a while. The quantity is just so driven by the weather though. Let's take a look in here. Remember, green beans, always a treasure hunt. And beans will freeze up really well, so if they are coming in abundance and you're wanting some but don't really have time to fix them, or it's more than what you can use, they're really easy to freeze up. Just ask about it. I'm pleased to see so many beans in here today. The banana peppers are really starting to come in. They're just a mild, sweet banana pepper. They're good to chop up and throw in just about anything that you cook. I have a lot of people who slice them up and put them on salads because they're so mild. When we have an excess, probably later in the season, we will can these. We'll slice them into rings, and then I've got a pickling recipe that is a lot like the mild pepper rings that you get at Subway or those kinds of places where they put them on your sandwiches. But these are just a nice sweet pepper. They add some flavor to whatever it is that you're going to cook with. If you like things hot, ask me about a serrano pepper or two. A red one if you're brave. They get hotter as they get red. And these will last red on the vine just a few more days. So if you truly want some hot red serrano peppers, get in touch with me right away and I'll pick a few for you. But the difference between a serrano and a jalapeno is not only that the serranos are spicier, but I think that traditionally a jalapeno pepper is more of a green flavor, and these don't really have that green flavor. To me, these just have heat. So if you're making salsa and you want heat, and you're going to use great tomatoes, and you're going to use all those other great fresh ingredients, but you don't want the green flavor of the jalapeno in there, the serrano is your choice. And I would tell you to start with half of one, mix it up, let it sit for a while, go back and try it and see how it is. If you need to add more, you can. Once it's too hot, it's too hot. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the basil patch. We have basil, almost 3 feet tall. Basil, basil, basil. I've been drying some, so we will have some dried basil that will show up at the farm stand here in a couple of weeks once I get some more varieties of things dried up. But if you are looking to make homemade pizza with a fresh mozzarella and basil topping, I've got basil. It's great to do pesto right now. I've got tons of basil and parsley if you want to put a pesto together. And pesto will go in the freezer so you can have it during the winter as well. You can use basil to make caprese salad. You can use it to top soups. You can use it for all kinds of stuff. But I have been doing about 7 or 8 stems in a quart-sized jar for $3 so that you can have fresh basil sitting on your counter for quite a while. It goes on the counter in a jar of cool water every day or two. Pull it out, snip the ends off, replace the water with some more cool water, put it back on the counter where it stays out of the sunlight, and it'll last on your counter for a long time. Salad tomatoes. Be thinking about what you can do with little tomatoes. I'll have a whole bunch of these little salad tomatoes and grapes coming over the next several weeks. These are bell peppers, and they've been a little slow. They like it hot, and we just hadn't had much of it, but there are some coming. The flowers have done great with all of this rain, too. The cosmos are going. Those little sunflowers are going. The zinnias are doing great. Some of these sunflowers will need to get cut out this week and get some new ones put in. Jalapeno peppers are doing great this season. Here's another zinnia bed. Beets. If you want beets, let's talk about beets. We've got some carrots that are ready for Wednesday. This bed has new seeds in it. We pulled all of the veggies that were in here and used them all up. So this has green onions, carrots, and a couple of new summer squash plants. Here's another partial bed of beans, and they're loaded. Here are those grape tomatoes. They've been just soaking up all of that moisture, and they're just plumping up too fast and splitting the skins. So I'll come through and pull these off tomorrow, but there will still be a good crop of grape tomatoes starting this week. I've got a little bit of lettuce. I've got some new seeds that are up, and then yesterday before it rained I put some new seeds in this end of the bed, so we should have some lettuce coming too. These are some more tomatoes. This is pretty exciting. These are spaghetti squash. They're not going to be big. They're about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds. They're calling them a single serve spaghetti squash, and they're just starting to turn yellow. This was the first blossom that turned into a fruit. And it is nice size. Good. I'm going to keep a close eye on those. We finished up this batch of onions, and I put some peas in, what's the date? On the 5th. So we've got peas that are sprouting, so I'll have a little bit more for the fall. The rest of the bed, I pulled those onions out and they're drying. Those will be a storage onion, so they'll be ready by the weekend. But I seeded back in the middle part of this bed with spinach, and then the end has some more green onions. These are the last of the zucchini, and they are looking a little ragged, but there are some zucchini in there. So we'll have a few zucchini before we have a lull and wait for some new plants to come in. The cucumbers are not looking great, I'm going to just tell you for honesty. They don't like all that dry weather. So cucumbers may be on the way out, even though there's blossoms coming. I just think the plants are just haggard from the weather. There's a few viable ones in here. So, and this is another row of beans down the front of the trellis bed. So overall, things are going pretty good. The hose, I never roll the hose up. So things are looking great. We'll have crops coming. I know some people are back to school and getting kids back to school and off to college, and they're thinking that summer's over. The garden is thinking we're just hitting our stride. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you at some point this week at the farm stand. Bye.